Hello and welcome everyone to round number 6
Jesus.
here at League of Europe for the French Grand Prix. You good, Jack?
Oh, you burst my eardrum. Bloody hell.
The mic was a little bit close. I'll just start off with that one. But yeah. Anyways, welcome back everyone to Division 4 for the 6th round of the championship for the French Grand Prix. 15 corners and 27 laps, I believe, here for you guys tonight. It's going to be an interesting race, and maybe we'll get a few changes in the championship order a little bit further on. But going into the standings right... Oh, wait. Before we go into the standings, in the commentary booth tonight is going to be myself, QVR Packer, and Ariel Nolan, who may have lost her eardrum, and it's also raining. It is also raining. Yeah, it looks like intermediates right now, which is... I don't know if it maybe will go dry a little bit later on, but yeah, it's raining already here in France.
Oh, what a terrible track for it to rain at. I hope everybody slides all over the place and we get carnage and then we don't have Maverick or Ryan winning for a change.
You know, that would be pretty nice. And unfortunately, since the last race in Singapore, we did lose one of our race winners from the championship, Giant Bravery. I'm not entirely sure what happened to him, but I know he's no longer classified in the championship. So we now only have... I want to say we have 2 race winners now in total. We only have 2 race winners, and that is all Maverick and Ryan B. So, yeah, I think we need a little bit of a shake-up in the order. Championship order going into it right now after Singapore. Ryan B is leading on 89 points, followed by Alt Maverick on 72. Cam K is on 58 after taking 3rd place last time out. Major Falcon is on 43. Storm having a really quiet season. Well, I don't want to say quiet season. He's didn't race in the first race and then has had 2 podiums and 2 DNFs. So he's 5th on 30 points. MCR is 6th on 28. Ariel Jordan on 26. Mr. Walter on 24. Polly Poles on 20. And Slayer, the end of the top 10 on 19, tied with Energetics, who has actually had a 2nd place in Spain. And that's almost all of his points. But anyways, we can get out to the action on track as well. But yeah, so it would be nice to have someone other than Ryan B or Alt Maverick win. And hopefully they wouldn't leave two rounds later.
Yeah, it's funny seeing the top 2. Ryan B and Maverick, they have both been by far the best. Like, it's not even a fluke that they're there. They have been the best. But I wouldn't say they're the fastest. I'd put that down to Cam K. We just never know what we're going to get from him. So the gap's not to the stage where I don't think he could pull it back. And if he gets a win here tonight, then anything can happen. But we've got some really fast drivers, and I know Passe is really fast from what I've seen in practice. I'd never put it past Slayer to get a good result out of nowhere, so we've still got people that can win a race. It just seems to always be Ryan B and Maverick somehow.
Yeah, alluding to Passe, he is the picks for Jav's Judgment today in Division 4. Obviously, no Ariel bias or anything there, but...
No. I think Jordan will get 2nd as well.
Yeah. Of course. But yeah, he is the picks for Jav Judgment, so we'll see how his evening will unfold. Energetics just starting a lap right now. So yeah, going a little bit wide there, a little bit interesting. But yeah, Alfa Romeo just about to start his lap and has actually started his lap, and now going down the hill towards turn 1, braking into the first corner in these intermediate conditions, well wide of the apex at turn 1, not exactly on the apex for turn 2, but it's going to be difficult for these drivers because even in the dry, it's difficult to keep the car out on track. It's very easy to pick up penalties and warnings, especially in the race, and invalidate your lap time in qualifying here at France. So it's going to be interesting to see who comes out on top in this quality session.
Yeah, the race is all about nutrition, avoiding pens, avoiding incidents, because even damage at France can completely just ruin your race. Qualifying, on the other hand, I think a lot of the time we don't get a true representation of how fast people were. I think 90% of the laps are probably going to end up invalidated. The difference is with the rain, you can put a few laps of fuel in and go for a few runs at once and gradually improve your time, so you think eventually you're going to get a time in. It's so hard. I feel like with the rain, it's just staying out there and kind of building a bit of confidence in every corner, putting the power down a little bit more.
Yeah, just watching with Energetics. He's made a few mistakes on his lap. At the first sector split, had a little bit of a slide. Just heading through turn 10 there, had a little, went off the track, and then turn 11, just going off the track once again. He's going to let through the Aston Martin behind him, which is Mr. Wilder. We did have I thought I saw someone spinning. Oh, yes, that was Christofew 2000 in the Ferrari, a reserve for this week. Having a little bit of an off. Giant Bravery has invalidated his lap.
Kamke's squirming all over the place, but he's going to come through the last sector. It's been a decent lap. A few recoveries to stop him from spinning, but it'll be on the board at least, which is what you want. You want a banker on the board so you can aim for something to improve on.
Yeah, that's exactly what you would want in this one. Kamke across the line. Goes fastest, obviously. No one else has set a lap. 42.238 for the McLaren driver. Energetics, who backed off of his lap, goes second, 53.9. He'll be looking to improve on that. Major Falcon already half a second faster than Kamke, as Alt Maverick goes another half a second faster than Major Falcon. So it looks like maybe Alt Maverick might be on top here. But obviously 13 minutes left. It's going to be a lot of track evolution, a lot of drivers getting used to the conditions and getting adapted to said conditions. And we'll see quite a few more
half a second
times
up after sector 1.
Yeah, just looking on board with the McLaren driver for 0.425. He was up after that first sector split. Pulls 140.6. You can already see how much faster drivers are going almost right away. The two Red Bulls, I think McDutchface is going to be the first one, but he's invalidated. MCR is going to be the next driver. Let's see what he does. It's going to be a 41 for the 42 for MCR. Slayer just starting a lap in behind them. It's going to be a Ferrari, unless that was Christofew. Yes, it was. So McLaren Passe, he's going to be the next driver. His teammate currently P6, but he's coming around for another lap right now. I wonder if we can check and get a delta for him. 8.5 tenths up is Kamke. So let's see what he can do once he does come to the line. He still has a few more corners to navigate before getting to that start-finish line. In last game, that start-finish line,
this is where he had to recover last time, so he's going to gain a lot of time here, because that's why he was sideways. We're looking at over a second improvement, maybe 1.3.
Yeah,
this is looking like an early pole lap, but obviously we don't know with the weather whether or not it's going to dry up or not. There is a bit of sun.
Yeah, one of the Aston Martins, Mr. Wilder, just improved on his first lap, and Kamke P2. Only 0.04 of a second behind pole to pole. So yeah, a good lap there, decent improvement for the McLaren.
Yeah, pole to pole is an interesting one, because last week he was really impressive. He got obviously, he overtook in the safety car, which has made his position look a lot worse than it actually is. But I know last week he was on track at least, competing for the win the whole race at Singapore, so I won't put it past him to have a good race.
Yeah, there's a lot of drivers here in Division 4 who could have a pretty decent race when they get to their track. Eduk, top of the leaderboard now, 140.215 for him. That's a decent lap time. Storm just crossed the line. I think he just improved up to P6, one of the Alpha Tauris. I want to say Dirtim just improves to P9. Connor just following him behind as well. McDutchface and Slayer crossing the line in tandem. 142.2 for McDutchface, P13. Slayer just exiting the final corner with a Mercedes right behind him. That'll be Jordan. Let's see what Slayer does into the 42.1s is the Red Bull. So the two Red Bulls, P14 and P15 now as Jordan goes up to P13. So right now, as of looking at the championship, it's Ryan B and Alt Maverick P5 and P7. Now, I would imagine a few drivers would be into the pit lane at the end of their current laps if they haven't. Ooh, Passe's out.
Oh, you useless. I'm getting him out of our rail.
That's at the final corner as well. I'm not entirely sure how he's done that, but he's done it somehow. He has just, I guess, had a little bit of a squirm and has gone straight into the wall. So, yeah, unfortunate there for Passe, but it has to be all driver error on that one. Kamke goes up to second following his teammate's retirement. Ryan B trying to follow Kamke. I think that's a good idea, actually, as he invalidates. As I say that, try to follow someone faster than you could be actually a pretty decent idea, but you have to be far enough away where you aren't going to be affected by that dirty air.
I wonder how many laps Kamke has put in of fuel, because he's still going. It looks like he's still pushing on this lap as well.
Maybe there's a little bit of rain to come in the race, so we want to use the least amount of tires possible as Eduk goes even faster and puts himself further ahead on provisional pole position. Just around 0.6 of a second, he is ahead of the next driver, which is Cam K. So it's going to be, well, obviously Eduk showing his pace, and now the Williams of Connor goes up onto the front row as well. So it's a Williams 1-2, looking like Division 2 all over again. Eduk on provisional pole with Connor in second place. Connor a little bit slower than his teammate, but he's done the same amount of laps on his intermediate tires, as well as Cam K. Cam K, is he improving? I'm not entirely sure. It just said he set a purple middle sector, but I'm not entirely sure how true that is. Have you been watching on board with Cam K so far?
Yeah, I've just been watching it. Each lap is just getting smoother and smoother, and obviously he's going to have less fuel on as well. You can just see him gaining confidence every time, but those tyres are going to start to wear soon, and you think he's going to get an advantage if he puts a new set on, but I think he's going to finish this lap.
You know, just looking at it now, it stopped raining actually out on track, so maybe just trying to stay out there for as long as possible. Obviously, it depends on how much fuel he's put in, but maybe this qualifying session might actually go dry. There isn't that much spray. I think the spray is just starting to go away now as Cam K doesn't improve. 0.6 of a second he was off of his previous time, so it's not that much of a difference, but I think it might be going dry as actually Storm has selected the soft tires in the pit lane.
Ooh, I don't know whether it's...
I think
he's
it's
in the pit lane, that's alright. I was going to say that'd be a bit early to come out right now, but if that's the case, it just kind of makes all these laps irrelevant, and then we're going to get a mayhem last few minutes where everyone's just going to send it out on the softs.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you remember Canada Division 2 from last season, but it's going to be something like that. You're going to have everybody who set their time on the inters, and then you're going to have maybe 7, 8 people who set time on dries, and they're going to be at the front, but they're going to be forced to start on those tires. So if you select the softs to do your qualifying lap, or you could select the mediums as Larkin did in that one, and was put onto the alternate strategy. It's going to be interesting to see what these drivers decide to go for. If there's enough time, I don't know if there's enough time now. Storm's just selecting the mediums in the pit lane. But I don't know if there's
to this stream?
I don't know if someone I don't know if there's enough time to possibly do 2 laps, maybe get a medium and maybe a set of softs, but I don't think it's going to be a one-shot qualifying for the end of the session.
Yeah, and the thing is, a one-shot qualifying here is so easy to invalidate, so if you mess it up, you're still starting on the inters. It's probably better just to let off and get a not as fast lap time. You're still going to beat the inters anyway.
Oh yeah, and there we go, DRS enabled. So that means race control
and
thinks
Maverick's
it's dry
just
enough.
gone past the pits.
Ooh.
He has to do a full lap in the inters again.
He still has enough time, I would imagine, just to go around once. But yeah, it's gonna continually get even more dry out on track. So only 2 drivers though brave enough to select the soft tires in the pit lane. Those 2 drivers being Ryan B and Storm, P6, P7 currently on the intermediate set of tires.
Sorry, apparently Poldy Poles is meant to have a quali ban for this race.
Is he?
That's what I'm seeing.
Let me take a quick look. I'm not entirely sure, if I'm going to be honest. I'm not sure where you're seeing that, but I'm sure it's correct. I could take a quick look in the Stewards reports, Division 4. I don't know. Maybe for license points, but yeah. Anyways, Slayer, I would imagine, be coming into the pits on this lap. Alfa Romeo Poldy Poles. There was a spinner. Mr. Walter heading through turn 10, just about to end to turn 11, a little bit further down from where you would really expect. Alt Maverick, I think, is going to be the next driver to cross the line. It's just only Alt Maverick and Mr. Walter out there on track. The Ferrari and the Aston Martin just getting the track a little bit more dry for these other drivers. I would imagine to be into the pit lane on this lap. Alt Maverick going considerably slower, especially through turn 12 there. Is he going to finish this? No, he's not. All right, I think that's a good decision there. On that one, Mr. Walter in P9 currently. We can take a quick run through the order. It's going to be Eduk, Connor, Cam K, Poldy Poles, Ariel Passe, who unfortunately crashed out of the qualifying session just a few minutes ago. Ryan B, Storm, Alt Maverick, Mr. Walter, Dirt Tim in P10, Energetics, Major Falcon, Ariel Jordan, TRT James, Slayer, McDutchface, MCR, Christophe, and Alex, who has not set a lap time yet.
It's Alex that has the quali ban. the names are very similar.
Ah, I see. But yeah, Alex, that would explain to him not setting lap time then. So we could take a quick look as is that a Red Bull? I think Slayer is actually just about to head out of the pit lane. His mechanic just ran out of the garage.
Maybe
garage.
He's put 2 laps of fuel. Yeah, he could have put 2 laps of fuel in.
Possibly.
Which would be a risky move, or he's just maybe trying to avoid the traffic, which might backfire because by the time he starts his lap, I'd like to think everyone's probably going to be diving out.
Yeah. He's exiting the pit lane right now. It's going to be about 1 minute 35 seconds, you would imagine. So you'd be around 2 minutes, and that's about when everyone else would want to be getting out of the pit lane. So it's going to be interesting, the timing on that one. I think Dirt Tim might just be clear of everybody, but there's going to be a few drivers who are going to want to get out a little bit earlier. But even then, I think drivers are going to be cutting it as close as they possibly can, especially since the track's going to be drying out just by itself. So these guys who went out a little bit earlier may be giving themselves a little bit of a disadvantage out there.
Yeah, and it's just going to be one-shot quality as well, so I think at the moment it's just more about just trying to get a lap in, because so many people are going to invalidate this lap. Especially when they're used to the wet conditions. I could see maybe 6 or 7 people not even validating the lap.
Yeah, Dirt Tim is going to be the first driver out on track. A few other drivers out there as well. Major Falcon, P12, he's just heading down the Mistral straight down towards turn number 8. TRT James Slayer, Chris Few all out on track. There's the other Haas has just, actually no, that's James. And then there's, I believe, an Alpine, the other Alpine, which is going to be MCR. He's heading out on mediums, interesting enough. But we can watch on board with Dirt Tim. You can still see a little bit on the camera. There's still a little bit of water streaming down the lens, but I think it's dry enough. Well, it's definitely dry enough for the dry tires. So let's see how Dirt Tim is able to do. 4th gear through turn 1, short shifting to 5th to get the traction through turn 2 to keep that stability. Maybe just being a little bit cautious early on here. But if you make a mistake, though, for the guys who left the pit lane early, they do have another lap if they did put in enough fuel. Dirt Tim heading through the first sector, a little bit wide of the apex there at turn 6, and now heading through the first sector. He's 2.5 seconds up through that first sector, so that would already put him on provisional pole position. So it's only to improve here for Dirt Tim. Purple first sector there for the Alpha Tower.
Going in.
Eduk is...
He's getting dragged into the pits. He was out on the inters.
Oh, what?
That's a complete misjudgment from him.
Interesting.
Wait, who's the Red Bull? Who's the Red Bull?
Slayer?
Slayer, that's it. Slayer's just been dragged into the pits.
He's going back out again now, but he's not gonna. He has nowhere near enough time. All right, so that's Slayer's qualifying session over.
Well, we could see some corner cutting, guys, if he wants to try and get this lap in.
I think that would be pretty useless because I don't. Even if he cut corners, I'm not entirely sure if he'd be able to get around in time. Either way, but yeah, Dirt Tim is going to be the first driver to cross the line, and then I think it's going to be, I want to say, one of the Ferraris. I'm not entirely sure. But it's either going to be Major Falcon or TRT James. So let's wait and see. Dirt Tim is about to cross the line here on the soft tires for the Alpha Tower. He crosses the line, goes provisional pole position, obviously, 131.8, a little bit slower than I was expecting, but it doesn't really matter at this time. He has enough time to go for another lap, but I don't think he will be. Chris Few invalidated his lap, so he's going to be going again in the Ferrari. TRT James just heading down the Mistral straight. Major Falcon heading through the 3rd sector. I think he's going to be the next driver to finish. Ryan B has started a lap. Championship leader currently heading through the 1st sector, about to cross middle sector split. I think Major Falcon is backed off and might be going again, actually. Just to get a little bit more time out on track. Alt Maverick has just started a lap, so the 2 championship leaders both on laps. Connor heading through the 1st sector. Dirt Tim has finished his session. He's not going to be improving on his lap. Major Falcon, was that? That was him backing off and then going again. He's gone into 2nd. Almost everybody out on track, obviously, besides Alex, who has that qualifying ban. I'm trying to find the next driver on a lap.
TRT James is coming through in the mediums at the moment. He's on the 2nd to last. He had a purple sector 2, but obviously that doesn't really mean anything at this stage. Everyone's going to get a purple sector 2. But he's on the mediums. If this could be a good lap,
Yeah, it could be good for him. Slayer and Energetics unable to make it to the line. TRT James 32.4, so about 0.6 of a second slower than the fastest time on soft so far. But only 2 drivers have set competitive lap times on the dry compound tires. MCR is going to be the next driver to cross the line, and then it's going to be Slayer, who's unable to get to the line and will not be able to go. And it's going to be MCR top of the leaderboard now. Only 0.02 of a second in it between the top 2. It's going to be a Mercedes. I think that's Ryan B. And Ryan B goes pole, 130.4 for the championship leader. Ferrari's going to be Christophe. Let's see what he's able to do. There's a Williams behind him, followed by his teammate Alt Maverick there. Christophe goes P4. Williams, I think it's going to be Connor, and then it's going to be Alt Maverick. Connor on the mediums goes on to the front row. Alt Maverick on the softs will surely be on provisional pole position. It is by a 10th and just a little bit over his championship rival. Ariel Jordan went up into P4. There's a Red Bull. I think that's McDutchface. McDutchface goes on to the front row, 130.3. A decent improvement there for him on the dry tires. Poldy Post crosses the line. P4 on the mediums, not bad. There's an Aston Martin, an Alpine, and that's Major Falcon. He goes on to provisional pole by 0.3 of a second, and then Camke goes onto the front row on a 30.0, and then Eduk replaces him, replaces the Alpine to Major Falcon on the front row, and the only other driver into the 1 minute 29s, and it's a 0.793 for him. The 2 Aston Martins cross the line and go P7 and P8. There's an Alfa Romeo just crossed the line. I think that was Energetics, but I'm not entirely sure. But wow, so I think that was Slumcon. Or no, it was not Slumcon. It was Eduk, who goes on to provisional pole position to 0.283. That was really chaotic there at the end.
That was crazy, and when I saw Jordan's lap come through, I thought that's going to be perfect for P11, and he landed straight in P11, which obviously at France can be a massive advantage because he gets to pick those medium tyres, whereas Poldy Poles and Slump are the highest medium runners, so he's basically not losing out on anything either.
Yeah, pretty good there for him, but we can take a quick run through the order. It's going to be Eduk, Major Falcon on the front row, followed by the 2 Americans of Camke and Alt Maverick. McDutchface in P5, Ryan B P6, Storm P7, Mr. Wouter P8, Poldy Poles P9, Slumcon the top 10. Ariel Jordan's going to be poor man's pole position here at France in P11, MCR P12, Dirtim in P13, Christophe in P14, TRT James P15, Passe, Energetic Slayer. Those last 3 drivers unable to set lap times on the dry tires. Energetic Slayer not making it to the line. Passe crashing out of qualifying. And then Alex did indeed have that qualifying ban and was not allowed to set a lap time. So, yeah, that's going to be the order going into the race. And it looks dry right from the beginning here.
Yeah, I hope the rain does come. I do like a little bit of carnage. I'm not going to lie to you. But at the moment, it's going to be dry, which you'd have to think. I mean, he looked really impressive, and it's good to see him back at the front because his trajectory has been so strange at the moment, up and down all the time. But Maverick and Ryan get a chance just to go at it now. They're right near each other on track, and it's going to be a dry track as well, so I hope we can see them two kind of putting their elbows out a bit and showing who really wants the championship.
Yeah, we already got a little bit of a taste of it in Singapore last week. Obviously, those 2 drivers finishing 1-2, and Ryan B with a penultimate lap, or was it final lap overtake on Alt Maverick?
Penultimate lap, he got the pen and then he got past him.
Yes. There we go. So just taking a quick look at now as the drivers embark on the formation lap to warm up their tires. So obviously, top 8 are going to be on the soft side of the drivers who qualified on the soft side of tires. Poldy Poles and Connor are going to be P9 and P10 on the mediums. They qualified on those tires, so they are going to be a little bit warm, but not too much, obviously. Jordan, MCR, Dirtim, Christophe, James, Passe, and Slayer in P18, all on the medium compound tires, and then Energetics and Alex, interestingly, will select the hard tires, maybe not thinking of they can make either a medium hard or a medium soft work. So, Eduk, Major Falcon, Camke, Alt Maverick, McDutchface, Ryan B, Storm, Mr. Wouter, all going to be on the soft set of tires. It's going to be interesting to see what they decide to do for their strategy.
Yeah, there's not many strategies you can do here if there's no safety cars or anything. Most people, I know the soft to medium is doable. It's debatable whether it's better or not due to you have to have a lot go your way to make it work. I personally find the soft to hard a better strategy, but I think obviously the best strategy, which tends to be the case at a lot of tracks, is probably going to be the mediums to soft, which I feel like if they can pull that off with no safety cars, someone like Poldy Poles, who we know is really fast anyway, he could do really well.
Yeah, a lot of drivers could do really well. So we said Ariel Jordan was on poor man's pole position, but it looks like Puldy Poles is going to be on the first driver of the alternate strategy. He's obviously going to have a little bit more tire wear, so maybe won't be able to go that one extra lap. But looking for strategies right now for the soft tires around lap 5, 6 if you're going to go for hards, and lap 8 at the very earliest, lap 9, lap 10 maybe ideally. For soft medium. For the mediums, I'm not sure when you would pit if you're doing medium hard. I don't even think that's a viable strategy, but medium soft around lap 17, 18. And then I have no idea what you're going to be doing on the hards. Probably hard soft, I would imagine. So
the issue is though with the soft, doing the soft to medium, you lose so much time between lap 5 and 10 on the softs. They're so, like, I don't even know if it's worth the gap that you get on the mediums. Because if you get on the mediums, you have to close that back up and then pull a gap again before they start to die. So it's going to be interesting. There's a few strategies that can win this, but we're going to go to you for the start. And I'm going to bet on a Cam K win, Ryan B second. I think Maverick's going to DNF. I'm going to put my man Ariel Jordan on third.
All right, well, here we go. We'll have to also look out for pass it from the back of the grid. Obviously, Jav's judgments, but here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lights here in France. And lights out, and away we go. Looks like Eduk and Major Falcon Eduk gets a pretty decent start. Storm trying to get up the inside, but is unable to. He's going to be up in the P6. McDutchface and Alt Maverick going side by side into turn 1, as well as the Alpine and the McLaren of Cam K and Major Falcon going side by side. Alt Maverick goes a little bit wide through turn 2. McDutchface trying to get the switch back on him, but Cam K into turn 3 on the inside of the Alpine. He's going to have to back out of that one. Alt Maverick goes really wide into turn 3 through turn 4. Is able to keep McDutchface behind for the time being, but there's a little bit of gap opening up in front. Eduk has gotten a good start, and he's going to be away from the rest of the grid. They're trying to create that gap right away. He needs to create a gap from the medium runners because they're going to be really fast and closing onto the back of him as soon as those soft tires start to die off. But now it's going to be Cam K and Major Falcon down the Mistral straight, down towards turn 8. They're closing it down on Eduk as well. The Alpine is going to get boxed. He tries to go to the inside, almost 3 wide. Major Falcon and Eduk have contact, and Major Falcon is going to be round. He's going to be down to the back of the grid. Eduk is going to stay in P1, and Cam K is going to gain a position off of that.
Yeah, and that was just completely Major Falcon's fault. He went too deep, hit the side pod of Eduk. I don't even think Eduk probably knew it was happening, and then obviously Falcon was around. Cam K's up into second. What a start though by Storm. Storm gained about 2 positions off the line. I thought he jumped the gun, but no, apparently it was in time. The medium runners, everything's kind of kept the same. Ryan B had a horrible start. He was lucky not to lose a few positions. He had to go really wide into turn 2. What a crazy start, but how was...
Ooh. Oh, both Alpha Tauris have spun, which is interesting.
As well.
And James has retired. I think that's around turn 7, I would imagine. But now back looking at the lead, the first 2 runners in this race, Eduk and Cam K, 1 at 2 in this one, just going down towards turn 1. But actually, they're sort of dropping Alt Maverick. I'm not sure if Alt Maverick is just struggling for pace, maybe has a little bit of damage or something like that. But he's dropped off the back of these top 2. Cam K and Eduk, or Cam K is pushing Eduk very hard here into turns 3 and 4, not so much. But yeah, Eduk trying to stay away from Cam K up at the front. Alt Maverick trying to follow them. McDutchface, Storm, Ryan B, Mr. Wilder, all these guys on the softs are going to be struggling for pace. And once we hit lap 4, maybe once we hit lap 4 or 5, those tires are really going to start to die, and the mediums are going to come into their own as well. Connor on the back of Puldy Poles looking to make up a position on the Alfa Romeo. He's not going to be quite close enough going into turn 8. Passe and MCR going side by side. Yeah, and Passe from 16th, I think it is. He's made up 5 positions. Is going to be up in the P11. He's past MCR. He's already showing the pace that you alluded to earlier on in the stream right before qualifying. And yeah, Jav Judgment seemingly doing pretty well in this one, but we're only on lap 2 of 27, so there's still quite a long way to go. And now he has to get past his Ariel teammate in Jordan.
Yeah, it's all about race management as well. I think Passe's got the pace. He's still learning management. We're seeing it with Cam K as well. ERS is so hard to gain here, and there's people already in the 40s, which is a bit confusing. Oh, I thought he'd were going into the pits. He went that wide then. He's already in the 40s. You really want to save as much ERS as you can, especially if you're in the train. We're seeing it with McDutchface here. He's got 76%. The issue is with this, if you're on your own or if you're at the front, you lose so much ERS, like just naturally without even using it. So to use it this much anyway, I don't know why Cam K needs to. Just use Eduk at the moment.
Yeah, he could just stay behind, save as much as ERS as he really wants to, but they're trying to get away from Alt Maverick, and they're almost succeeding in that task. Just the DRS detection point just after turn 6 there, going through turn 7. So let's see. I think Alt Maverick is just going to do enough to stay within DRS, and now the train is the grid is really going to start to close up once we get to this point. Actually, Alt Maverick unable to get DRS there, so McDutchface is possibly looking for a move. Kamke going for the move for P1 as well. I think the McLaren driver is going to have that down into turn 8. He has that one. McDutchface has that one. Passe and Jordan going side by side. Jordan around the outside. Passe is going to get that move done. I think Jordan just let him have that one, and now Passe is going to be up on the P10. Jordan may be looking to fight it back, but I don't think he's going to be close enough. But now Eduk and Kamke up at the front of the race once again, going through turn 10. I don't think Eduk is going to be able to get that position back from Kamke, so it's going to be Kamke up into the lead of the race, but he only has 27%, now 30% in ERS going through turn 11 and into turn 12 here. Eduk is around just about 40, so it's 10% advantage, so he's looking pretty decent already. He's seemingly struggling a little bit because he's kind of all over the road as the Williams driver, but McDutchface now has closed that gap by half. It was 1.2 seconds heading into the chicane of turn 8 and turn 9 after passing Alt Maverick, and now that gap is 7/10 of a second, and Connor going into the back of Polypoles, maybe picking up a little bit of damage there for the second Williams driver.
Yeah, and Passe is hunting him down fast. He's on 40% ERS. Drivers are, I don't know if they know how poor it is to get the ERS back, or whether they're just trying to get these positions early, but it is a long race. You see, Maverick's on 38% as well. He's really struggling.
Yeah, Maverick had a decent enough qualifying pace. It seemed he is going to be around just barely inside that top 10, but yeah, seemingly struggling for race pace here. Storm already on the back of him going, heading through turn 7. Passe is now on the back of Connor, as well as Connor's on the back of Polypoles. He uses a little bit of ERS, but I don't think he's going to be quite close enough to make an overtake. Passe is going to be neutralized because of the DRS train that are now starting to form here on lap 4 of this Grand Prix. And Kamke over the front of the race is still keeping his advantage over Eduk, but his ERS is starting to dip a little bit, and Eduk is saving a little bit now as well.
Yeah, it's kind of starting to stale out a little bit. Everyone's kind of in the train. People need to start saving the ERS. I think we could see a little bit of action at the front, but for Eduk and Kamke look really eager for this win. And the thing is, whoever's in second is always going to look faster, because you just get such an advantage sitting behind someone at France. Eduk, though, needs to be careful. If he's going to go on that curb one too many times, it'll spin you out. The people at the back, they'll be hoping for a safety car, especially so like the team, like the people that have gone onto the hards, they're playing the long game now, they have no other choice. But most of all, it just seems a little bit chilled at the moment, which is good. We've got Passe pushing this train around, but it's so hard to overtake, and sometimes it's not even beneficial. It's probably better just waiting for the soft runners to go in for their pits, and then starting to put the pressure on.
Yeah, once those soft runners go in, Polypoles is not going to have DRS. We have a switch for positions between Christophe and Energetics down the field. That's Energetics making up a position on the hard tires. It seems Christophe in his first race here at League of Europe. I think it is his first race, unless he's had a PSN name change. Going for a move into turn 3, that's ambitious. I would say around the outside of 4. Ooh, this is interesting. Yeah, seemingly struggling as Christophe in his first race in League of Europe. But yeah, now just looking at it, between McDutchface and Eduk, that gap is starting to open up. Eduk, I don't think had DRS. There goes a little bit wide in turn 8. Alt Maverick is going to be right on the back of him. Yeah, it's...
McDutchface had a terrible chicane, and that's going to be a second gap, I think. Yeah. He's really messed up that chicane. He's going to have to burn if he wants to stay in DRS now, because if he doesn't stay in DRS, he's going to find himself in a really big... Whoa!
He's almost gone off the road and almost crashed into a wall there, but able to save the car, fortunately, there for the Red Bull driver. But now that gap is over 1 second. It's 1.1 now, almost exactly for the Red Bull driver. Yeah, maybe,
I'm just going to the hards, because you're going to be in such a tough spot now with no DRS. You're going to be draining. People behind you are just going to start overtaking you. I feel like your best bet is to go for the undercut and just put the hards on.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting decision, as actually Mr. Wilder's going to be the first driver into the pit lane. The second of the two Aston Martins, I think he was just in between Polypoles and Ryan B, but now Alt Maverick is making his way back past McDutchface after a few laps there, and Mr. Wilder's gone on the mediums. Interesting choice there.
Going for the 2-stop.
So, yeah, well, there's no way that's a 1-stop unless you have some crazy tire management, but yeah, that's definitely the 2-stop there for the Aston Martin driver. So maybe looking to put a little bit of pressure on these guys in front of him, maybe cause a few pit stops, and maybe aid his teammate Storm in the long run, get these guys, get a few of these guys to pit. But in my practice, it seems that your tire wear seems to be a little bit better when you're behind the driver, but Eduk not looking to be behind Kamgay for much longer. He's going to be up into the lead of the race once again. Kamgay, no defense against it. He had no ERS. Eduk used a little bit of his storage to make that move past the McLaren driver. Goes a little bit deep into turn 9 there, and Kamgay looking for a switch back. But I don't think there's really any advantage to making a move here into turn 10. I think he's going to stay behind just for the time being. Yeah, he's really struggling with ERS here. All Maverick struggling as well. He's just derating going into turn 11 there. So now McDutchface can see that with that red flashing light. Ooh, Eduk really wide off the road. His tires seem to really be overheating. Comes back into the racing line on the braking zone. Uses all that curb on the inside of turn 12. That's
very
not
wide again.
Yeah, he's really struggling. All these drivers seemingly really struggling. For tire wear here. Actually, Eduk and Kamgay are coming into the pit. All Maverick is in as well. McDutchface, Storm all stay out. So now those two soft runners decide to stay out, and now it's going to be the medium runner's opportunity. Passe was able to make his way past Connor, and now he's going to be looking to make his way past Poles, looking at the inside of turn 1. Oh, he's into the back of him. That might have been a little bit of damage for the McLaren driver. Storm picks up a 3-second time penalty to the first driver in this race. Poles had a little bit of a spin, and now had a tiny half spin, but now I'm not sure Passe picked up any damage in that.
I didn't even know. It looks like he's fine. You need to be a bit careful. People seem to be very eager to get past, and they're burning all the ERS. They're going for moves. It's a very long race at France, and it's all about nutrition. France, if you just sit there and race at like 70%, you're going to get something out of the race. Penalties as well, like Storm has just proven, like, if a safety car comes out and you've got no penalties at France, you could just find yourself jumping from 8th to a podium. It's that easy.
Yeah, it's very easy to do, and there's a tendency for safety cars, I would say, here at France. Obviously, it's very difficult to go out and lose a wheel here at Circuit Paul Ricard, but it is possible, and I have seen safety cars, multitude of safety cars here in the past, and possibly driver-to-driver incidents, but yeah, I'm not entirely sure. These drivers really seem really aggressive, trying to make these moves as early as possible.
Passe does look fast, though, doesn't he? Bloody hell.
Yeah.
If Passe didn't just turn into a wall in quali for no reason, I think he'd be having a good race. But at the moment now, it's him and last week's race leader for most of the race, Poles, and Poles proved that he knows how to keep a car behind. He was nowhere near as fast as Ryan and Maverick, and they were stuck behind him for a good 15 laps at Singapore. I know it's harder to overtake there, but Passe needs to not get baited into this and just save his ERS, sit behind him and wait for the pit window.
And I think most of that was in the rain as well, so making it even more difficult to overtake. But still, no disrespect to Poles. He's still doing a pretty decent job here, as Mr. Wilder has set fastest lap of the race after pitting just 2 laps ago. We can take a quick look at the strategy from the guys who pit. Eduk is in front of Kamgay, both of them on mediums. Mr. Wilder has jumped all these guys, all Maverick, McDutchface, Ryan B, and Storm. He's jumped all of these guys. Now he's up into what would be net third, but still has another pit stop to make, as Passe up the front of the race has made his way past Poles and now into the effective race lead right now. But once again, taking another going back towards the strategy, all Maverick on mediums, but McDutchface, Ryan B, Storm have all gone on the hards.
Yeah, I think the hards is the safer move. The thing is with the mediums is you have to rely on traffic going your way. You have to close the gap up to the hards first, then you have to pull the gap again before your mediums die. I feel like it's just a lot safer to go for the hards. If a safety car comes out, you don't lose out because you can just pit with the mediums anyway. As long as the safety car doesn't come out in the next few laps, the hards are fine.
Yeah, I would tend to agree with you on that one. They're going to be, I would imagine they're going to be going to the softs at the end of this race as Passe sets fastest lap of the race up at the front. That's actually a really strong pace there for Passe, 133.570. Pretty decent pace there for the McLaren driver, and up at the front of this race as well. Poles attempting to stick with him, but I'm not sure how long he'll be able to do that. Connor Jordan, MCR Slayer, Energetics, Chris DeFew, all drivers trying to stick with them, but Eduk 0.4 of a second faster on this lap alone than the race leaders. Actually, has Passe broken DRS?
Wait,
No.
Passe's rapid.
Passe is almost broken DRS there, as I've gotten a message application suspending in 15 minutes. Interesting. Hopefully that will not happen. But anyways, Passe still leading this race. Poldypol's barely clinging on to DRS range there from the McLaren driver. So just trying to stick it behind, but Passe is absolutely flying here at the second half of this first stint, and has gotten up to the front of the race, gotten in the clean air, and now he's been absolutely, he's been a missile, or he's been on rails, let's say, since making his way past Poldypols, and now just trying to create that gap and trying to get a bigger advantage for himself. Slayer on the back of MCR, possibly looking to make a move. Camke and Eduk still close out on track. Another close gap is McDutchface and All Maverick. All Maverick on the mediums, though, McDutchface on the hard, so that's going to be an interesting dynamic in that battle as well. Ryan Beanstorm following them close as well.
Yeah, they're going to have to make their way through the field fast, because at the moment, Passe's got clean air, and it is not affecting him whatsoever. He is still... The lap times he's pulling in at the moment are crazy. I feel like Passe could actually do nearly a last to first at the moment.
Yeah, he's broken DRS to Poldypols, which is interesting as well. Poldypols trying to use ERS to get back to the McLaren driver, but Passe isn't exactly doesn't exactly have that much ERS in his to his name either. Poldypols trying to close up through the first sector. Camke fastest lap of the race, 132.898. At the front, trying to make his way past Eduk. So down that pit straight, having that DRS advantage really giving him a lot of pace. And that actually at 132.8 is actually a pretty decent time there when you're starting, once you made that pit stop on the mediums. Chris DeFew picking up his first 3-second time penalty. But let's look at Connor and Poldypols. Poldypols not having the DRS advantage. Connor trying to go around the outside, and Poldypols is just going to defend that position for the time being. Slayer making his way past MCR. And Chris DeFew's out of the race at turn 7. Ooh, on the outside, must have had a little bit of a snap.
If a safety car comes out, this is brilliant for the medium runners.
Yeah, Camke and Eduk trying to make a move on each other as well. Poldypols has to give up the position to Connor in the end. No safety car as of yet.
What's happened to Sump and Poldypols there? Passe is 2 seconds ahead now.
Yeah, I think Connor must have had a little bit of a snap because they were still fighting through turn 10 and almost into turn 11. So Passe not having any of that, and now it's actually gotten really overcast here. Is it going to rain later on in this race? I don't think it will. I think we would have gotten a message in chat. But maybe, just maybe. But now actually the medium tires are looking like well, it's obviously the better decision here because now the track is starting to cool off. You aren't going to be overheating. Well, you shouldn't be overheating at all, especially since it's so overcast here at France now. So
you think Codemasters put that in the game?
I mean, I like to hope. But anyways, Eduk and Camke. Oh, Eduk has almost just put it. Almost just spun it around. Had a little bit of a rear lock there into turn 1, something that you don't see too often. But I'm sure that gave Eduk a little bit of a shock.
Yeah, I'm having a look at the strategy that Wouter went for again. Mr. Wouter, sorry. He put the mediums on. You have to remember, he pitted quite a bit earlier.
I think it was lap
put the mediums
6 or 5. I think it was lap 5 for him.
Yeah, I'm confused at the strategy, whether they know something we don't on how long these mediums will last. But I don't think they make it to the end, or if they do, they are absolutely shot.
I don't think they'll even make it to the end on tire wear, like, at all. Pit, because lap 5, that's so early. Like,
yeah, and Eduk and Camke only went a lap later.
Yeah, like even
Alt Maverick's done the same. There's a few people that have done it to the point where do they know something? Have they just stuck the tire pressures all on max?
But even then, as Poldypols is into the pit lane, ooh, that's early. Are they going on hards?
No way.
Is that hards for Jordan? That's hards for Jordan.
Did they not know the medium soft works?
There's hards for MCR as well. Hards for Poldypols. Wow. All right. Medium hard for those 3 drivers.
I know one driver that knows medium to soft works, and he's driving in P1 right now.
Oh, that has really shaken up a few things in this strategy, or in this race.
I'm confused by that.
Yeah, that's kind of, I don't know.
Maybe they're just playing it safe. Maybe they don't think the medium pace can hold up well enough for the softs to be a benefit. I don't know. The softs do die pretty fast, so you're only actually getting about 4 or 5 laps out of them, like at maximum delta. Maybe they just the gap between the softs and the hards is massive.
Yeah, it is pretty. It's a pretty big gap, and even then, the hards are not great at all because even after 4 or 5 laps on the soft, they're still, well, pretty decently faster than the hards, I'd imagine. As Dirk Timmons had a spin, is I think just reset
Especially
the
on
track.
low fuel by the end of the race.
Yeah.
There's a few strategies here. This could be a very I hope there's no safety car because I just want to see who's chose the best strategy.
Yeah. It's gonna be interesting.
And
Connor's into the
now,
pits now as well. Yeah. Interesting.
Is he going to go for the hards as well then? And
Yes,
Slayer's
hards. Or well, Slayer's hards for Slayer. There's no way
So
Connor goes for
is Pastor
softs
the only
here.
person going for medium soft?
Connor's in for hards. And I thought I saw a front wing there, but I think my eyes are mistaking me. Well, KMK and Edok have to pit again. Mr. Wilder for sure has to pit again. All Maverick has to pit again. So,
Has Maverick thrown this away now? Because if Ryan could just sit on the hards...
ooh, that was harsh for McDutchface. But, yeah.
I don't know why Maverick's taking risks. If you're in a championship battle, I feel like you just go for the strategy that you know will work and just maybe settle for losing a position or two instead of losing potentially so many. Because if he has to pit again and there is no safety car, he's going to be so far at the back.
Maybe he was possibly banking on a safety car, but I don't think that would have been a good idea, especially at France. I know I
Not
said
when
that.
you're fighting for a championship.
Yeah, I think that gamble is a little bit too much for All Maverick because it's a 2-stop when he was already struggling for pace, as well as his championship rival was right behind him. It's not like he was out of the race or anything, but even then, a 2-stop is still such a big gamble.
Yeah, Ryan B now, he just needs to keep it clean. Maverick has to push. Like Ryan B knows he doesn't need to do that. Right now, like, the gap between Maverick and Ryan is so small anyway. Like, well, if you finish 6th and 8th, you're going to lose out on a couple of points. You're still going to be top of the championship.
Yeah.
Whereas Maverick has to push now because he has to pit again. There's no way he pulls this gap away. And those mediums should have a massive advantage at the moment still, and he's not really using it to the best of his abilities. I feel like Ryan's sitting comfortable right now. Obviously, we don't want to take away from the leaders, but there is a championship fight going on at the same time. As Maverick's D-rating, I think, while Ryan's on 80%.
Yeah, McDutchface 76, Ryan B 79%. So just saving up that ERS. All Maverick's going to be a sitting duck here whenever McDutchface decides to go for this overtake. Like,
yeah, I feel like it's a really poor choice in strategy this week.
Yeah. Yeah, the on-track mistake last week at Singapore, Slayer picks up a penalty in P14, his first 3 second. Yeah, on-track mistake there for All Maverick last time. And then what looks to be a strategy mistake so far in this one is McDutchface will ease his way past the Ferrari driver in to P number 6 on track. All Maverick almost into the back of the Red Bull. That would have compounded
his sliding as well. And I think Ryan's going to be on the back of him any second now.
Yeah, All Maverick.
He's just going to have to let him go.
Yeah, there's nothing he can do. He doesn't have any ERS. He doesn't have the tire. Well, he should have a tire advantage, but he's going to have to pit again in a few laps here. But the one thing that
cheeky little brake check, Maverick, you know.
I don't know. That was not. I don't think that strategy decision has. Obviously, it has not panned out well.
He needs a safety car.
He needs a safety car now, practically, pretty much.
Before Ryan gets past him.
Yeah.
The thing is, I'm not even confident that Maverick will be able to stay on the back because those mediums are going to start to die soon. That's the issue.
Yeah.
I don't think, even when Ryan gets past him, I don't think Maverick's going to, or if he can, he's going to really struggle to stay on the back of the train.
Yeah. You know, if a safety car would come out right now, you know, one person that would actually really, really screw over? Passe. Because he's going to have to go on hards. And I think everyone else would pit for mediums, and he would be the only driver on hards. So
that would screw him over. However, I do think he's that fast that he'd probably still get decent points. Maybe not a win, but he just seems levels above everyone else on pace at the moment. Maverick, making us eat our words, he's going back past McDutchface. He's used his ERS for it, but he's still got past him. Maybe As he just tickled Ryan B a little bit and then drove off again.
Maybe he's like, hi, I'm here also, but yeah. Anyways, Jordan has made his way past Major Falcon. I just got the message once again saying that my application is suspending in 5 minutes because
nice.
I don't have license or whatever. But anyways, Poldy Poles has overtaken Storm for P10, trying to make his way up through the field now. Slumpcon is back onto the back of this train a little, this little train as well.
Not much has happened. I think we were just waiting for the medium runners to either pit or. There's no way they're trying to take these to the end, surely.
I think they'll all get punctures, if I'm going to be honest. Unless they're really, really lucky. There's no way they don't get punctures.
Well, I've seen Perpetuum win Spain on 98% tyre wear. So it can be done.
It can be done. But they're going to be at what? They're going to be 80, 90% maybe? Maybe more? I would imagine. Those medium tires are going to be absolutely cooked. So Cam K, Eduk, Mr. Wildhair, and Alt Maverick, those four drivers, they're all really going to be struggling for tire wear. But now Alt Maverick has got onto the back of Mr. Walter after with his one-lap tire advantage. So he has DRS, so McDutchface cannot just go kind of past him once again, and these two drivers start leapfrogging each other. But yeah. Slumpcon is actually, Ryan B and Slumpcon are actually getting pretty close out on track. Ryan B using his multitudes of VRS. Slumpcon trying to go down the inside of turn 11. The Mercedes and the Williams going side by side through turn 10. And the Williams driver will back out of it, trying to maybe go for it once again. But I think Ryan B is going to hold that position. But now he's out of DRS range, so maybe Scotter being exactly all Maverick needs. And now we have Red Bull off. That's Slayer. And Camke's in. Camke is pit earlier than his teammate, and Camke is now making his second stop. And Passe has not stopped yet.
I'm so confused.
On the same compound of tires. So what is going on here? He's pitting for mediums.
Because Camke doesn't strike me
and
as the
Maverick
team player
and
kind of guy.
Maverick and Wouter and Camke all into the pits for mediums. Eduk just makes the decision to stay out because he does have a little bit of a gap behind him on track.
I'm confused with this strategy.
Yeah.
I'm confused why Maverick would go for it. Surely you just try to mimic whatever Ryan's doing and stay as close to him as you can.
Well, Ryan was behind him, so I guess I don't really know how that would affect things. As actually Dartsim's out. Dartsim has just crashed out of the race on the exit of turn 11 there.
Passe needs to pit soon.
Yeah,
he's going to start losing the advantage of those mediums. But saying that, he does seem to be. His pace is really good still.
Yeah, he could still. I think he could pit at the end of the next lap and still. That'd be pretty decent for him. Unless he wants to pit at the end of this one. Either way, I think the softs
He's going to be so fast on those softs.
Oh, yeah, those softs are going to be. I was going to say
he's in.
Expletive rapid, but yeah, he's in. Camke.
Eduk with a penalty.
Yeah, Eduk has picked up with their second penalty.
Seep through now.
Eduk, I would imagine, would be in on this lap, maybe for softs, unless he wants to go for one more and then go on to softs. But here comes Passe into his pit box. McLaren crew taking off those yellow wall mediums and putting on the red wall.
Is he going to come out first, or is Energetics going to beat him to it? I think.
Well, Energetics hasn't pit yet, so it doesn't really matter if he beats Energetics out or not. So Energetic's still going on those hards, so going one more lap before pitting. Eduk is in. I think he's going to be pitting for. Eduk is actually pit for mediums, which is an interesting decision. And now Passe has jumped everybody. He jumped everybody. Literally 16th.
He's going to win the race.
The 16th. He's weaving. He's weaving down towards turn 3.
You cocky. I love it. Don't crash now.
Who let this man do this? Who let him do it? He's gone from 16th and now to a net first, and he's leading by 2.5 seconds. And McDutchface has a 3-second penalty. So as of right now, the current order is Passe, Ryan B, Connor.
Passe, just be careful. Don't. If he DNFs now, I'm going to make him learn a lesson. And that little weave that he just did is going all over the sandals TikTok. I don't care.
And there goes my application. Great. Stream is still going, actually. Well, I can't go into my game though. Cannot use content. Cannot connect to the server to verify license. All right, hold on. Give me a second. I think the stream is probably going. Yeah, actually, I don't think they can even hear you, which is even better. If you no, I don't want to. Yeah. All right, let me close the application and the stream.